And welcome everybody. As far as I know, we are live. And with us tonight is our special guest. I'm going to just save the introduction for her. And who's not with us is Dieter Staudinger. Dieter, bless his heart, he was on and he lost his power up in Canada. I don't know whether they got some snow the other day, so I don't know what's going on. I know he's about to purchase a house, so he's in the middle of all kinds of changes and stuff. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the show going here. Let me open my slides. Pretend like a little play here. Sing us a little song, Preva.
Oh no! Nobody wants that.
I don't sing a song because it would clear the room. So anyway,
yeah, same here.
Okay. So here we go. I think we're ready to go there. So all right. Hey, hi everybody. Welcome back to Fearless Flight Live, where we take the fear out of flying, hopefully, and inspire everybody to give it a go and get on an airplane. And we got an amazing show lined up tonight, one that will definitely lift your spirits. Look at the smile on this guest here. She's just awesome. And maybe this will help you get one step closer to conquer your own fear. Preva, who I'll say a little bit more about in just a minute, she's a proud graduate of Fearless Flight, and she flew solo back in, did we figure out it was 2017?
Preva? I think it was 2017.
Yeah, you really flew with us, so we're not making that part up. We just can't remember the
I've flown with you. I've flown with you 3 times, but I think that was my first.
Okay. And first, what I want to do is shout out to all of our private Facebook community, Fearless Flight Birds of a Feather. If you're not a member, and you're just starting to work on your fear flying, or you've already taken some big steps and want to stay supported, this is a good place to go. You just go over to the link at fearlessflf.link/BOF, and it's free. It's Facebook. And leave a comment and look at all the support you get. Matter of fact, I had a really interesting, I monitor it as much as I can. And I went over there the other day and there was this big thing says, "Hey, Captain Ron, tell me how to do a long haul flight." And so I went in and put a blurb up in there, and I'm going to do a whole special coaching session, I think next month in February on that. So Dieter, welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Are you using your private, the iPhone?
Yeah, yes.
Cool.
And a battery powered light, and as long as I have power to my laptop, we're good.
Okay. So I got to keep it short and sweet tonight, which is always a challenge for me. But anyway, okay. So we got a full edition lined up with inside inspiration and a little bit of space dust. Ha, ha, ha. So to kick things off again, want to give you a warm welcome to everybody out there who's here, especially if you're here for the first time, whether you're watching it live or watching the replay, we don't care. And here is our special guest, Preva Lohla. Preva went through the program. We can't really pin down when we actually met, but it was some time ago. And I don't know, what was the occasion? We just reconnected a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, something like that, Preva?
Well, I messaged you on Instagram because I'm like forever indebted and grateful to you. So anytime I see something, I always just say, "Oh, how have you been?" And then it takes you about a month or 2 to reply to my DM.
Yeah, because I am the worst on social media. And
yes.
So that's all. I always got a good captain is never without excuses. So
well, you text back very quickly always.
Yeah. Anyway, and so I'm always looking. I like to have people who are just starting. I like to have people who are in the middle of it, and people like you who it's been a while. Because some of the big questions that people have is, I can maybe get on one flight, but what happens down the road? So hopefully you'll add something have something to add tonight. So, and then I got a little thing, a little segment called Space Junk, and we'll be talking about what space junk is and if it trips your trigger or anything like that. So buckle up, settle in, and get ready for a night of truth, tools, and transformation, I like to say. And remember, you're just one flight away from Fearless Flight. Having said that, I do want to make one special announcement. Tonight, I can't imagine anybody on the East Coast staying up, but I am going to be live on a show called Coast to Coast. It's on AM radio, and it is Dieter's going to put some other links in there. They have a website that I think you can watch the show if you want, or you can listen to the show on the website. There's no video, obviously. It's a AM radio show, and I'm gonna have to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning my time doing this. I promised them I would. So anyway, it's going to be all about fear of flying. And if you're not familiar with Coast to Coast, it's probably better because they have some really, really out of this world shows on there, including space aliens and people who claim to have seen the Yeti, the Bigfoot, and stuff like that. So anyway, I hope I'm a breath of fresh air for that. And I promise we won't be claiming that we got Bigfoot over his fear of flying or anything like that. So anyway, so Dieter's going to put those links in there.
Those links are in the chat already. So
okay, cool. So okay, here we go. Welcome again, Preva. It's really fun to have you here. She's a fun person just to meet. You can't help but smile when you talk to Preva. Oh. And so tell us a little bit. I'm gonna take it off of the slides here for just a minute, Preva. So what was it like for you? People think, oh, she's not really that bad. She never had it that bad. So put them on notice here.
Well, I used to fly all the time, like for work and when I was younger, and I had a couple of kind of crazy things happen. For me, it's more of a claustrophobia issue, a highly claustrophobic thing. I got caught in an elevator and it caught on fire, and just weird things have happened. So then I became claustrophobic, and I could fly, but I had to fly with like a Xanax or a glass of wine or whatever.
Sure.
So the last time I flew before I met you, I was pregnant with my son, 2008. No, I didn't fly actually. So I was pregnant with my son in 2008, and I was pregnant, so I couldn't have a glass of wine or I couldn't have a Xanax. And I thought, oh, we'll be fine. We were going to Hawaii. I was excited. I had never really had big issue. I mean, I never liked flying. That's why I always had to take things, but I thought it'd be fine. And the flight was delayed. There was something wrong with the air conditioning and they had to fix it. And I'm already like claustrophobic. So to hear the air conditioning's out, I started panicking, and it took about 4 hours to get on the flight. And I think I just worked myself up, and I feel like a pretty normal person. So when we started taxiing, and I looked at my husband and said, I'm going to freak the F out.
Yeah.
Stop this plane right now. And he had to like run up. I mean, it was so for me, like, I don't like to be out of control. I don't like to put other people out. I don't like to feel crazy. So it was just easier and then I had a small baby and another bit, like, it was just easier to not fly.
Sure.
And then 9 years later, I make up in my head, I relive it literally every day for 9 years.
Let me check back with you. So did you actually complete the flight even
though we ran off?
No, they let you off. How far into had you just pushed back from the gate, or were they just closing the door?
We had no, they closed the door, pushed back. We were waiting, you hear like whatever, 10 in line and whatever.
Sure. So you were actually out on the taxiway.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, super embarrassing.
Because you can imagine how many people ask me, what happens if I say that they have a panic attack or something like that, and I say typically if I'm not airborne and I'm the captain, I'm going to go back to the gate probably. because it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So that's a great. We don't have that many people who have at least admitted that that happened.
It was
So
pretty
awesome.
embarrassing. So I didn't think they wanted a pregnant woman,
Yeah. Oh gosh, no.
with a panic attack flying.
Sure.
And again, I'm like usually pretty, and I was, kind of loud about it. I had a full panic attack.
Yeah.
So,
And that's really, I mean, the kind of pressure and the embarrassment stuff you feel. I mean, that's really imprinting on your brain.
And that was the first panic attack of my life.
Yeah.
Of my so to replay that over and over and over, that to me in my head was exactly what was going to happen.
Okay.
If I flew again. And everyone kept saying to me, "You're not pregnant. Papa's Annex. You can do it." And I'm like, I will never, ever, ever put myself in that position again. I just freaked out. And I went to so many, hypnotherapists.
Yeah.
Because, my husband loves to fly. We always flew before we were married. I really wanted to take my kids places. And, there's so many trips that I missed out on with my kids that I didn't go on.
Sure. And so now we're into the 9 years where you did not fly.
I didn't fly.
Okay.
And then even after that, when I started flying with you, I still wouldn't go. Like my husband's alma mater, UNC in North Carolina. So he would take the kids every year to their homecoming, their huge homecoming, and I wouldn't fly that far. So I would fly with you a couple times, or I would fly maybe, to San Francisco with my girlfriends to just do that quick. But that took 9 years to like I said, it took a lot of hypnotherapy. It took, psychiatrists, psychologists. It took it took acupuncture, like anything you can. I went through the virtual,
virtual reality. Yeah.
And I just couldn't get myself to freak out because I was like, I'm sitting in a room. I know my feet are on the.
Because your brain is telling you, that same brain that sticks the needle to you when you get on an airplane, it just goes and hides. It's like, it's so cowardly, right? And your brain says, "Oh, you're not really on an airplane. You're not going to freak out right now."
Yeah. And I'm a pretty strong person. When I say I couldn't see past this. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't. To watch my family go places. Yeah. To go Hawaii with dad and the kids and grandpa and grandma. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I need to watch the dogs. It's so much. I just made up every excuse in the world.
So feeling helpless and powerless is really an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, just like not being able to breathe. It's just the most panic. Yeah. I mean, I can get myself worked up just thinking about it. It's really, if people are out there listening, they know it's like a real emotion.
Yeah. So push forward. So what started to bend the needle?
I think my husband found you. I mean, when I say it started ruling my life, like I thought about flying every day, where I couldn't go, what I couldn't do, all the places I wanted to go. My kids started getting older, so they started saying, "I don't understand why you won't come with us. Wait, are you afraid the plane's going to crash?" Like I never wanted to put my fear on them. So once they got to the age where they started asking questions, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I have to figure this out for so many reasons." So I think my husband found you. I don't really know, but you had nothing going on in Burbank. You had something. You're in Phoenix.
In Phoenix, I'm in Phoenix. Yeah, and I remember now. Since you've been talking, I remember you guys talking to me about driving over here, and you said, "Well, believe me, we'll drive over." And for whatever reason, it was one of the few that I had at my house. I can't even remember why.
It was at your house.
Yeah. Here it was in Tempe at the time. So,
we drove I don't know, what is it, 8-10 hours?
It's about, but probably from that area, about 8 hours at least. Okay. Yeah.
And then sat in your beautiful living room, and you were amazing. And I mean, I was never afraid of turbulence, but even just to hear how you talked about turbulence, I thought, like, the older I'm getting now that I'm flying, I don't love the turbulence. Like when I
Right.
was young, it didn't bother me, but now like everything kind of bothers me still to this day a little bit. But
Yeah.
I remember constantly that ping pong ball, and I'm like, oh, like just the way you put everything so just simplistic, like things that weren't even a phobia for me that later in life I'm able to use. And we went through this
Yeah.
whole class,
Yeah.
and with I was with people who hadn't flown for 30 years. Like,
Right. Right.
so I had every single intention of taking the class and going home. Like I had zero intention of
I
getting on the plane that
remember
day.
that. I remember when we got up to go, I remember something, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said something to the effect that, I had no intentions of flying, but I'm going to try it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I literally had z- less than zero intention. We just in my head were like, okay, we're going to take the class and then we're going to drive
Yeah.
home. And then another day, I didn't sign
Yeah.
up for the flying. I didn't like eh, just it was never going to happen that day. But being with people who were looking at you, who had been 26 years, 32 years, and 16 years, like I was the newest, and looking at you like you're not leaving, we're doing this together, right? It's such a crazy feeling
Yeah.
of like I can't let you down. It was really, I mean, I was it was really life changing, really, really life changing. So we go to the airport, get on the plane. I think one person got off.
Yeah.
And I sat with you because I was so scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you sat in the middle of me and someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by I think it was like an hour flight to Vegas.
Yeah. 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 If we went to Vegas, really the airborne time is usually around 45 minutes or so.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
the flight attendants, cheered for us and called
Oh,
for
it was
us,
fun.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
we did a woo, like just all these things. And my husband was laughing. He's like, my husband who flies all around the world was like,
Right.
what's happening? But
I know.
we were just kind of all in it together. And I think by
Yeah.
15 minutes in, I was checking on everyone else. They were checking on me. Like it was such a family experience. It was amazing. We got off in Vegas and turned around and got right back on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
and
remember?
I
Oh,
did
go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
did I did take a Xanax for that.
Yeah. Yep.
And full disclosure, I still do. Not,
Yeah.
as much as I used to have, but just to not have any anxiety. I never want to freak myself out again the way I did. So I do take a
Let me
Xanax.
address that, you and I, because you were talking about that. For all of you listening, Wendy was concerned about saying that she took Xanax and she takes it, and I want to, again, I try to say this often to all of you, but my hope for all of you is that you can get on the airplane, and for some of us it's just really hard. And what you need to, instead of being at a 1 to 10, a 10 with anxiety before you get on, it helps to bring it down, because now you got a little bit of resilience and wiggle room. Because if you get on and your anxiety is already peaked out at a 10, it's very likely that the first thing that doesn't meet your expectations, it's going to push you into the panic zone. And so I wanted to make sure that Preva did talk about that, and I want to continue to support her doing that. I'm going to ask a question. So to me, I always say, to get on an airplane, if you have flight anxiety, you have to have two things. You have to have confidence that the airplane is going to stay in the air and do what it's supposed to. And for a lot of people now, that's not, they don't claim that to be part of it. Most of it is
That's
like
not
you.
my issue.
I'm just worried about me losing control and not being and being going crazy because I can't get off of that stupid thing. But the underlying thing, of course, that connects all of us is we all do if we weren't worried about something going wrong, ultimately we weren't worried about just being in a seat on a closed container like that. So it really is about confidence, and you have to have confidence the airplane's going to work. But the biggest thing is you have to have confidence that you're going to be able to endure the emotions that come up for you. And so to me, it makes perfect sense that if I have Xanax and I noticeably feel it, at least initially, because I'm gonna put out there, I would say that probably at least half of the confidence that you have getting on an airplane is from the fact that you have a Xanax and it won't push over the limit.
For sure.
And you probably, the typical doses are 1/4 milligram or 1/2 milligram or even 1 milligram. So you're not talking about a lot, and it metabolizes in a relatively short period of time too. So if you don't take more of it, you really, by the time you get done, you're operating on your own steam.
100%.
Yeah.
You just feel, I feel more out of control, not out of control, out of my head with a glass of wine than I do.
I would offer control is the underlying issue. We just don't like to feel like we're going to lose control. But it's really about the sense of powerless and helplessness that people feel. And there's nothing worse. I don't care who you are, Captain Ron or whatever, we've all felt powerless at different times in our life. And it's the most uncomfortable, inhumane thing you can do to somebody, right? I've been watching a serial on streaming, and it's about the Middle East and terrorists and all that. And you just see that when they lock people up and they lose the ability to control, it's even though it's a stupid movie, there's part of you that says, I would not want to endure that. So anyway, so what's it been like since that time?
Well, I hit a hiccup because this was just before COVID, and I had a couple of good friends who were every like 3 or 4 months we would go to San Francisco. But then I hit COVID, and I was like, oh, I just can't. Obviously, I can't fly.
Yeah, right.
So then it kind of took me back and messed with my mind again. And then I think that's when I saw you again. My memory's so bad. I think I saw you again maybe in Burbank.
I think so. Yep. You came over one time. Yep.
And then I've even called you a few times.
Yeah.
So after that, my daughter is now in college. And
get out of here.
Yeah. Yep. And she dances for their football team, and she does the sideline cheer and dance for football and basketball. So I need to be out there. Like, I need to be watching her. So it's only about an 1.5-hour flight, but I take that now once a month.
Yeah.
And we took a cruise out of the Caribbean last year, and I flew cross country for the first time. That's the longest I've done. I'm still not ready to go to Europe. So when you were talking about, I think at the top of this, that you said that you're going to be doing something for longer flights or something.
Yeah, I'm going to actually do the theme of the coaching session that we're going to do in February is, and I'll probably do a little couple of excerpts, but the theme is going to be how to endure long flights. Sure.
I'm dying to get back to Italy, to get back to Europe, dying to. And I'm not ready yet, even though I'm totally confident, all over this country. I need to get myself to figure that out.
Yeah.
So I'm interested.
I put up on the screen here, there's a picture of all of you, one of those cruise ship photos. Was that the cruise you took, or was that another one?
Well, this one was actually just last month. We just took a quick one for New Year's Eve to Mexico.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we've found as a family that we cruise everywhere, and oh my gosh. So my kids have been on 9 Mexico cruises because it's in and out of Long Beach, because you don't have to fly anywhere.
Yeah, I've done that once. Yep, years ago.
So embarrassing. So, but they were very excited to be able to do the Caribbean, and we did Alaska because I could fly to Seattle because of you. And so yeah, that's what we've done. Which is weird that the claustrophobia and being out of control, but a cruise ship is fine. But
yeah. But see, we all have unique stories that we tell ourselves, and there's some common themes, right? They close the door in an airplane. I can't get off. And so that's common with a lot of people. But there are little nuances and stories that people tell themselves. And, I mean, that's why some people, elevators trip them out, or
Yeah.
some of the wildest things. But it's that, and you're very kind. You're an angel, and you keep crediting me. But you're the one. I joke with people. Don't blame your success on me, because if you hadn't shown up, you were never going to get over it. So
Yeah, but
you need to
honestly,
pat yourself in the back.
thank you. No, I definitely do often, but honestly, I showed up with, I keep saying it, zero intention to get on an airplane. And it was only
Sure.
because of meeting you and how just I adore my husband, but he is not a great person to fly with.
And that's often the case too. People who love us the most, and in fairness to them, they don't know what to do.
No.
And the things that you normally try to do, it's okay, and you want to slap them sometimes.
Totally. Oh my God. He's always like, can you call Ron and see if he can come with us to wherever? Can you call Ron? Because just sitting next to you, I felt like I could do anything. Like it's
Right,
just
right.
so I do credit you. It was a different situation.
Yeah. The other thing I want to revisit that you talked about is how important it was that day to fly with other people in the same boat. That, and I swear that and one of the things that I haven't had a direct hand in it, but one of the things I hope to do in my remaining years is I hope to create little pockets where people can do that. We had a lady named Wendy who used to live in the LA area, and she's now relocated to Houston, I believe, when he's a nurse and all that. But she actually put together a couple of flights where she was kind of mentoring people, and we had people on the show. So that's something that I would really like to encourage people to do. Just little networks of people where you can get together, if nothing else, to take a short flight to keep your skills up.
I would do that. It's super important, I think, to have people with you who are like-minded and who you can kind of, you don't want to freak out for them and they don't want to freak out for you. And then keeping your skill set up and doing it more often. Like it really changes your frame of mind. It just does, slowly but surely.
It does. And I just think that you're just a great human being. You're fun. You're I just have had nothing but joy talking with you and stuff. So I wanted to thank you, and I wanted to share you with the rest of the group, because if they can't get inspired with you, there's no hope, because you really do offer a lot of inspiration for a lot of people. And I appreciate your candor and your openness and genuineness, because that's really what I hope to promote out to people. People tell me, "Oh, you don't want me on." One of the guys that flew with us once from Phoenix to Burbank, he got so nauseated. That was one of his symptoms, that he rented a car and came home. And that was when Nightline was filming us, so of course he was the big story, the guy that didn't get on, and he went and rented a car. And when he came back, I invited him to come to the live class in Phoenix. And he says, "Why would you want me? I'm not a success." And I said, "I want you because you represent what it's really like for more people." Yeah. I'm not big at all. And, you take this and you'll be cured forever. That's not the way it works. It's a lot of sticking with it and put pressure on yourself, really.
Yeah. I'm not cured at all, but at least now I'm taking the steps, because of this, I'm taking the steps to go further. And, if anyone ever wants to contact me or get a hold of me, Ron, you can put anyone in touch with me. I was at the lowest of lows. I would love to talk to anyone.
I will do that. And I really appreciate that. So you heard her. If you want to talk to Wendy, if you want to talk to Preva, I know I was thinking of my Houston person.
It's fine.
Just let us know, and we'll connect you with her. And that's so kind. But that's kind of like, I kind of like to put together like 12-step groups of people around, because That's really it's powerful. That's one of the things I saw early on when I started doing this stuff 39 years ago, is the power of people coming together, especially when we fly, because when you meet with a group of people, it's not the same. You're not looking around wondering, imagining everyone what they're thinking of you, and because you can't do this and all that.
Totally.
You connect with the other people and say, hey, it sucks, but we're all in it together.
Yeah.
And that's really, really important. So it's just amazing that people like you. It's the reason I've never had so much fun. That may sound twisted, but talking to people like you, because it really is inspirational to work with people who have no kidding courage like you do, because what it took to get off that airplane. That's incredible. And to get
absolutely.
back.
And the elation we all felt, like we seriously, again, my husband, who has zero fear, to see, I think there were like 7 of us who took the flight, jumping up and down, hugging each other like fools in the Vegas air. But you just feel like the adrenaline you feel, it's unexplainable.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Dieter to come on if we probably have a lot of balloons going off with you and talking.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
But, well, I notice on Zoom sometimes if I put my hands up, it'll all of a sudden it'll tell me that I'm asking a question. It's the AI at Zoom, and people will have balloons like a helium balloon when they're happy and celebrating you. So
yeah. And you're right. Yeah. So there are a lot of people that can relate to what you're sharing, and I think also with how you're sharing it. Like your passion, your people really can relate to that. There was a question of do you think that the flying that you do helps you, or maybe is it because you didn't fly enough that it didn't stay current? So there was just somebody that was wondering, how is it that it worked fine and then you relapsed? So maybe you can speak to that a little bit, Preva.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely didn't work fine. I just was getting myself to doing it more and more. Like I'm still definitely, I have anxiety, and that's why I take a Xanax, but at least now I have anxiety, but I do it. So that's a big difference. And I think doing it more and more, huge help. Like I cannot say enough about, like, now my flights to my daughter's college, usually booking a flight gives me anxiety, even though I don't take anything for that. I feel the anxiety just booking a flight.
You get triggered.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, and I still, actually, to this day, I like to fly Southwest, because I do like to sit in the front, and Southwest will let you board first and sit in the front. And, otherwise it's going to cost a little more. And if my family wants me, that's what they got to do.
let me say a quick, this may turn out to be a commercial for Southwest, but I just went to Vegas for a couple of days to visit my son up there, and a couple of things. One, we're 7 days away from Southwest getting rid of the first come, first serve. They will be assigning seats a week from today. That'll be the first one. Okay. Now, I've asked them, I said, what will that do to the early boarding and stuff like that? And the people I asked, they don't know what's going to happen on that day, because that's such a cultural departure for them. But what I speculate, same thing. You go to the airport, you go to the gate agent, you say, hi, my name is Ron. I have a medical condition. You use that term. You do not say, I'm afraid to fly. You say, I have a medical condition that triggers their awareness of the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. And now they can't pressure you or and I don't think the pressure is so much, but just if you just say, well, I'm nervous about flying, the natural inclination for one of them is, oh, that's okay, honey, don't worry about it. And you're not there to negotiate that. You're there because you're working your butt off to get on. So you say, hi, my name is Ron. I have a medical condition and I need extra time boarding. You don't have to say I need a special seat anymore because you'll already have a pre-assigned seat, and they're still people with wheelchair, they're still gonna board them early. No question about that. The other thing that I noticed, it didn't occur to me until I was about halfway back from Vegas, and I was in a middle seat, the dreaded middle seat, and I dropped something on the floor and I went to bend over and I could actually pick it up off the floor. I happened to be sitting in the first third of the airplane, which is where they are making premium seats now. So you're going to have to pay for it. But you can, they still have the multi-tiered fare structure. But if you pay the more expensive fare, you can get one of those seats with more room in it. And I'm telling you, it reminded me of years ago when you could actually bend over in the middle seat and pick something up off the floor. So that's another thing for people who have issues with flight anxiety to think about. You might want to pay for that extra room in there. When you look at their ticket, their website, you can actually pull up where those seats are, and it'll tell you how much they are and whatnot. But it'll tell you where those seats are on the airplane that are more. But that's what they're doing, and they're going to make more revenue off of it. That was the big pressure from the board, was that they felt like they were leaving too much money on the table. So anyway, so Southwest, and I tell the people at Southwest, because I use them for the airplane classes that I do in Phoenix here. People, at least initially, there's some allegiance to the airplane if they happen to fly on it and it was a positive experience. For the first time in a long time, people kind of associate that with I'm going to do that next time.
For sure. And also, because mine is claustrophobia, I've run off quite a few airplanes that we've booked ourselves on, and I got on and I'm like, 12 rows? That's not for me. So I think Southwest is the same airplane across the board, right? So
it is. They're only 737s. They have
always the same.
Yep. The older ones they went from 143 to 135 now because they gave up 8 seats on the airplane when they reconfigured them with the more legroom. And then they have the 800s on there, and those are 175 seats. So same airplane. And it's equivalent to an Airbus A320, 321 and the EQs out there. So that's the workhorse of the airlines all around the world. If you go on international, then you're going to be on a wide body, an airplane with 2 aisles. And generally that's a little bit better experience as well, because it's bigger. So there's more room to the ceiling and stuff. So even on an airplane, you feel a little bit less cloistered in that. So, and to you, I don't know, what your resources are and stuff like that, but I tell people, if you're going on a longer haul, buy the most comfort that you can afford. And if it's going to be an 8-hour flight, it's going to be overnight, something like that. If you can get a business class seat with the lie down, and it's not even so much where you can lie down. Oh, that's nice when you want to lean back and relax, but it doesn't have the overhead bins in the middle. So it's like being kind of in a little theater. You definitely feel more room from the minute you step in there. So just something to think about. So
yeah.
So any other words of wisdom? I always ask, what if somebody's out there, they're saying, oh yeah, she doesn't really know what it's like to be right.
I 100% know the feeling of just the uncontrolled panic attack. My only words of not wisdom, but encouragement would be that Ron, you are doing classes out of Phoenix right now?
We do Phoenix. I will. The fella that you went over to the Burbank location, he had to move 3 times with pandemic and the writer's strike and all that. So his studio is now up in Valencia. But we've done a couple. We've done about 8 classes of it. Yeah. So we'll be doing Valencia. I'm hoping for late, March, early April, and then I'm probably going to try to fly in May or something like that again.
Well,
and I've been flying between Phoenix and Burbank.
so my thing that I would just say to people is
Yeah.
whether you're in Valencia or in Phoenix or anywhere
Yeah.
near it, I was not. We, like I
Yeah.
said, took a 8, 9, 10-hour drive.
Yeah.
Best thing please don't use the distance as a reason not to do it. Like, get a
Yeah.
hotel, make yourself an overnight. We stayed overnight there, and I just would highly encourage going to a class.
Yeah. And I'm really, this is crazy, but my dream is to be able to do about 10 major cities in the US, maybe only once a year or twice a year, but kind of like at least once a month for me, instead of doing them all in Phoenix and Burbank, would be to get enough people that I could do it out there and try to combine the flights. So anyway, it's good to see you. Thanks for your candidness and what there. I just love you to pieces, and I want
I'm
to
forever grateful.
Well, thanks. I'm forever grateful that I met you. Here's a thing that the space junk. Does it still trigger? I shouldn't say still. Does it trigger you when you read in the paper about things related to crashes or space junk? Like this is an article about the FAA came out with a thing about specifically related to some of the failed launches, mainly Elon Musk's company. They've had a couple of shots that break up before they reach successful Earth orbit. So there's this stuff raining down on there. And when things enter the news like that, does it trigger you? Do you see that, or are you pretty much able to say, yeah, that's not a deal?
That doesn't trigger me. For me, it's just the claustrophobia and out of control. But that doesn't trigger me.
Yeah. So I just want to, there are a number of people out there that do that. And I just put the slide together a little bit, and it just talks about what happens particularly when they have a launch and it does fail and it doesn't reach, all the debris doesn't reach orbit over the Earth. Then of course you can't fly over a launch site to start with. When I was still flying, I came out of Albuquerque one time, and there's a big government area over there, and they do a lot of missile launches. And this was an unusual one. We were coming back to Phoenix, and when we called for our clearance, we had a reroute that said we're going to take you further to the north, away from the launch site there. And these are one of these rare times in an airplane up there. So we launch, and then the controller notified us that the missile had been launched, and it was well off. We actually got to see this sucker go up, and it was like, holy cow, is it going fast? You can't imagine. We were at like 35,000 feet, and the time it took from the first sight I had of that thing coming silhouetted on the Earth down there until it went way the hell past us was like a blink of an eye. I mean, that thing was just so impressive. But anyway, when those are tightly controlled and monitored, and when they have failures like that there may be space debris, they block off the area, and it's going to be gone in a short period of time because Mother Nature and gravity is going to take over. And like I just said, they reroute us around those areas, so you don't have to worry about flipping a coin to see if you're feeling lucky that day or anything like that. No airliner has ever been hit by it. What are more likely, drones and stuff, and I've done shows on the drones out there, and they've regulated all that now. If you can't fly a drone above 400 feet legally without a permit from the FAA and stuff. So anyway, it's really not worth mentioning, but I get calls on it saying, what about this story about the space junk and all that? So I tell them, just don't worry about it. But that's like telling you, don't worry about it. Doesn't matter if you're worried. So anyway, Dieter, if there's any final words or wisdom that you have from anybody in there, show your face and let us know.
Yes, there actually is. And since you have a lot of experience with Denver, having lived there, there's someone in the Facebook group Birds of a Feather is flying for work from Charlotte to Denver on this Thursday. And so the concern is the Rockies, turbulence, and lots of snow in the forecast. So what's the landing gonna be like, and how do how do you deal with anything from snow and the potentially rocky approach into Denver?
This is smart. Sound like a smart aleck. You sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Because until they start paying me extra money to worry about what the pilots get paid for up there, I ain't gonna do it. So yeah,
Hey,
I would
that's a
encourage you.
perfect segue, Ron, to our new flight anxiety profile.
Yeah,
And I'll put the link in because we actually have a flight anxiety type that is
yeah,
the backseat pilot, right? And
yeah.
you don't have to worry about that. It's
You
the
should,
pilot.
I hate to use should, but you should could take this, Preva. Just take we got a new whole profile. It's really
I'll
cool, and I would
put the
love to
link in.
get feedback from you. Yeah, and you could take it. Takes about 5 minutes, and in 10 minutes you'll get a report that comes back, and it's custom to you. We got our helpers at AI do this, and it's really cool. But anyway, but
Where do I take it?
you got
I will
Dino's going to
I'll
put a link in there, and
put the link
I'll send
in.
you
Yeah,
a link
and Ron will
in
send you the link.
text
Okay.
directly. Okay. Yeah, it's really easy. I just love to hear your take on it. Anyway, but to put a little bit of closure with the person that is for, if you need to talk, hey, send me a text at 602-315-4602. And if you don't think I'll answer it, ask Preva. If you can't get a hold of me, it's because you're not trying. Or Captain Ron at FearlessFlight.com. And between now and Thursday, if you've never done it, we could do a free 15-minute coaching session. And it's never 15 minutes. It's always longer than that because I couldn't talk for only 15 minutes and my life depended on it. But anyway, so don't sit out there. And we can talk about just about those things. What's it like? What do you need to, what should you be worrying about? And more importantly, how do you change the way you think about snow, turbulence, and things like that? Follow Preva's lead and just keep doing it and keep working on it. Just don't ever give up. So anyway, all right. Thanks once again, Preva. Thanks for coming on here and sharing your heart. I love it. I love you. And Dieter, thanks again for helping me so much, and all of you out there. And we'll see you all next week for another episode.